Let's ride.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to DonSmith.tv. We hope you have the tools and the passion. Join me and let's create something amazing.
Well, hello. I sold my Goldwing 4 years ago. And, but I kept my Goldwing friends, had breakfast with them every Sunday morning. And I sure missed the Goldwing. So I didn't want to spend the money for a new Goldwing. So I looked for and got this beautiful 2023 Honda NC750X with a dual clutch transmission. I love it. And I'm bringing my channel back. But I'm getting a rough start. I love this new motorcycle. And yes, I refer to it as new because once my friends convinced me I should get an NC750X, I went looking, both new and used. Can't find them on the showroom floors of Honda dealers, and I learned that it's because it's one of Honda's best sellers. But one day I came to a dealership who had a trade-in, a used NC750X. And wait, it was, yes, a 2023, but it was used. And the salesman said, I took this bike in, and I can tell you that what he did was buy it new, put $3,000 to $4,000 worth of accessories on it, and then never rode it. So 3 years later, now, I bought this a little over a month ago. The bike only had 330 miles on it. It was showroom new, clean. Boy, I snapped that up real quick. It was being sold for the used price as if it had no accessories. So I took advantage of that. So in the meantime, after buying it, I'm getting my cameras set up. I'm riding it. I'm contemplating how to start my channel again, texas2lane.com. And I seem to be running into 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I was absolutely stupefied as to why it wanted to roll over. Well, it started out with a short between the headphones on my part, but who among us has never been a little bit late in raising the kickstand? When my rear wheel dropped the 2 inches off the end of the garage floor. It brought down the kickstand, which is still over the garage floor. And that kickstand and my weight on top made no support on its right side, so it just goes over. Well, you've got to know I'm a professional video cameraman and editing guy. I worked for the networks for 38 years, the New York newsrooms of NBC, CBS, and ABC. I would work for whichever network called me first. Also, the Today Show on NBC in New York liked the way that I would edit videos, and they often would call me at anywhere between 7 and midnight and ask me to rush into their local NBC bureau and edit a piece for the Today Show. And these rush edits allowed me to be the producer. I was the only one editing. The correspondent would not be there. The correspondent did not even leave a script, but they did interview people in the video. And so I would make that video alive. Any switches you see on this ride or any other ride that I do, and it is because I use 360 video in Final Cut Pro. And it's easy, so much easier than that very confusing Insta360-ack. So one of my videos will guide you through editing 360 in your NLE. It doesn't have to be Final Cut. I love Final Cut because it's faster than anything. I would say DaVinci Resolve is the most developed high-end editing, but it's way beyond what I need for editing video on the bike here, and a lot harder to learn. Whereas Final Cut, if I may give it a pitch, only available on the Mac. Final Cut is just fast, and everything I need is easy to do.
Because this is an equilateral video, Final Cut recognized it as being 360 degrees. Let me highlight it here. And you'll see you now have orientation, tilt, pan, and roll. And I'm going to start it, I'm going to drag on the pan. Like that. And so we have intro music. Here's episode 4 of my Goldwing Moto vlogs.
We've got a lot to talk about. Plus, as a network news cameraman for 38 years, boy, have I got stories. So I'm going to ride this bike in these episodes. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks about shooting, editing, about writing, about a lot of things I can connect with motorcycle riding. But I'm going to put in some stories about my adventures as a network news cameraman. It's going to be a mix. It's going to be a variety. Hopefully I'll keep you interested. We've got a lot to talk about. Plus, as a network news cameraman for 38 years, boy, have I got stories. So, I'm going to ride this bike in these episodes. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks about shooting, editing, about riding, about a lot of things I can connect with motorcycle riding. But I'm going to put in some stories about my adventures as a network news cameraman. It's going to be a mix. It's going to be a variety. Hopefully, I'll keep you interested. When I tell people I was a network news cameraman for 38 years, I also tell them that I can tell stories as long as you buy the beer. Oh, did I tell you that I was aboard Air Force Two with the elder George Bush when we dove to avoid a mid-air collision? I went up against the ceiling. I'll tell you about the Mexico City earthquake where I was Tom Brokaw's cameraman walking through the rubble with the president of Mexico at the time. And I'll tell you about being where a collapsed maternity hospital was being searched for people who were alive inside the rubble. And they brought out a baby that looked like death. Lots of stories to tell. I've met more famous people than I can remember. You got to throw out a name, and I'll tell you if I had anything to do with them. I traveled in 3 presidential campaigns. Nothing like being in a caravan on a busy, otherwise busy, New York thoroughfare, completely devoid of any other cars. You feel like you're the king. You know, it's so weird. I have been in the middle of hurricanes. Twice I've walked among the rubble of a small town where nothing remained that came up higher than my knees. I'll tell you about the time I was nearly blown off the bridge across the bay to Galveston Island. I had to turn the car into the wind a little bit so it wouldn't push me over the rails. Lots of stories to tell. So we're going to have fun. I'm on this, well, the Honda calls it an adventure bike, but I don't go off-road. I just like to go tooling around, get on the 2 lanes, and right now I'm on just a short 30-mile trip to get coffee and a cookie and watch the pretty girls walk by on a sidewalk. So you're invited.